Yes, two co-pilots are better than one. Hi, I'm your pilot, Shane Young, and I'll be guiding you through this demo on Copilot for Power Apps and how all the fun things work. No, I will not be cheesy and corny the whole time. I thought a cheesy intro was fun. Microsoft just released Copilot for Power Apps today, and it's actually two different things, right? We're going to have Copilot for Makers, which is going to let us use some words to create a table, use some more words to manipulate that table, and then create us a fully functional responsive app. Once we're inside that app, we're going to look at App Copilot, which is going to let us point it at our Dataverse data and then ask it questions. And it's going to work the same way that like ChatGPT would, but by looking at our list, our table of data instead of just the arbitrary internet. Sound pretty awesome? I thought so. So let's just switch over to my desktop and take a look. Here we are in my preview environment. Remember, if you don't have access to this yet, I'll put the link down in the description to sign up and get yourself on the waiting list for this feature. But here you can see that at the very beginning, I'm just greeted like, hey, welcome Shane, describe the app you want and let's just do it. So let's put in what I want. Will you create me an app to track the different breeds of dogs? And we're just going to hit enter. And so here you can see that, look, it's laid it out. It's like, hey, so there's a dog breed ID column, there's a breed name, a country of origin, height, weight, lifespan, description, image column. So they've got a whole bunch of different things going on here. That's kind of cool. Maybe though, looking at that list, like I see that, so neither Chewy nor Buddy are on there. So the breeds weren't pulled in. No big deal. We'll just say, add me some more sample data, right? So add me 3 more sample rows. Please make one of them a Labradoodle and one a Bernedoodle. We'll hit enter and look at that. There's my Labradoodle, there's my Bernedoodle, and there is my Multi-Poo, whatever it picked, right? So we can add sample data. Now, what if we wanted to have fur color? No big deal. Will you please add me a column to track fur color? Make it a choice column of the most common fur colors for dogs. All right, let's see what happens. I misspelled please. I don't think it'll have any problem figuring out what I meant. But notice I always like to say please and thank you, just in case. So after a couple of seconds, if we scroll to the right over here, it added fur color. We can tell by the visual it's choice. Now you're probably thinking, well, what colors did you add? So you probably guessed, but we could just ask it, what are the choices for fur color? Black, white, brown, gray, and golden. Awesome. You also could have clicked up here and said view column. You can't edit from here, but you can then see what it's doing. So if you want that type of view, but why do that when you can just ask it? There we go. We've got some good stuff in there. And so then now what we might want to do though, looking at this, I don't want to have the image column. I think that one, I don't want an image URL column, right? We can tell by the little symbol here, that's a URL type. So what we're going to do here then is just say, will you please remove the image column? A couple seconds later, it's gone, right? That to me is pretty powerful. So you're thinking, Shane, I could have done that myself. You could, right? With a bunch of clicks. But now we're able to just use the chat interface to make this happen for us. And so we can continue to shape this. If you're like, well, what type of columns does it understand? What type of columns can I use? I don't know. Let's just ask it. What type of columns do you support? We'll hit enter. And look, there's the list. Choice, choices, currency, date and time, date only, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna read them all to you, but there's the columns. I didn't have to guess. It will tell you right away. Now, what's really interesting is, well, because you're like, hey, this is kind of cool, right? You pulled in some sample data. But some of the fields are right, some of them not, right? So one of the things that you can also do here, because it is using that, Azure GPT, whatever that fancy name is for the engine behind the scenes, like it has access to real data. So maybe instead of weights just being numbers that it made up, we could say, will you update the weight column for each dog's actual average weight? We'll hit enter. And so look, now it's actually went and done that, right? So like if you look at my Multi-Poos, they on average weigh 7 pounds. Bernedoodles apparently weigh 60 pounds. So we can actually have this update data, right? So you're thinking, Shane, no one cares about your dog's average weights and things like that. I get that, but this is one of the challenges that we sometimes have building apps, right? We need not only the columns, which it's helping with, obviously, but we want sample data and we want valid, relatable sample data. And so this is one of those neat things that I've been enjoying is this fact that I can kind of, yes, put the samples in there. Yes, they were all real dogs. I didn't just call them, dog A, dog B, dog C. They put real breeds in there. They put real data in there. And so one of the times I was practicing, I kind of asked it to update all of these columns to real data just to make my data set more real. I'm not going to walk you through that, but just keep that in mind that you can do it. The biggest challenge that you're going to have when using this interface is not being creative enough, not challenging it enough, right? Like if you think of something you want it to do to the data, ask it. What's the worst thing it's going to do? It's going to say no? Who cares? It's not going to tell your friends that you asked it to do something silly. Heck, it might even, train it in the future to figure out that, oh, people have been asking for this silly thing. Maybe I should be able to do that. And then it'll be able to do that in the future, right? Who knows, right? But please challenge it. Don't do anything without at least asking. Don't say that would be too hard. It could never figure that out. See what happens. We're feeling good. Speaking of name, I do want to add that. So just add a column for a dog name, right? Because we want a name, right? When we upload these later, I want to be able to change buddies to buddy, Chewy to Chewy, etc. And so here it zips around for a second and it just like that, it's got that. It'll always add it to the right. It doesn't blink, so it can kind of confuse you. So now that we've played with it, and we didn't have to play with it, right? Now you could though be sitting here saying, I'm not sure that I've done a good job. So one of the other questions that you can always ask it, like if you're stuck, is let it help you get unstuck. So let's ask it this. Can you make any suggestions to improve my data? Let's hit enter. And look at that. Add average price column, add a popularity column. I mentioned that earlier. Remove the country of origin. Give me more suggestions. Sure. One of them is repetitive, but the other two are new. Oh, I kind of, like these different ideas. And so we're in good shape. We have ways. Let's just add a price column. I think we'll do that. So add a price column. Let's click on that. It's now going to insert that as a column into my data. If we scroll to the right here, boom, there it is. Okay. So we're not going to have to go research the actual average prices, but it's a number column to hold. I love this, right? So we've done all this work. We've got this thing in great shape. Just hit create app. Thanks, Shane. We're creating an app for you. So nice of it, right? It's very polite. And so less than 30 seconds later, I edited those out for you. You can see that it is dropping in here. I have the app. Now, the first thing you should do when you hit here is go ahead and hit save. So it gave your app a name and, it's there, but it's not going to start auto saving until you get done. So the first few practices, I might have lost my app. So make sure you hit save. But look, now that we've hit save, let's hit the little play preview button. And so what do you want to do at this point? Well, I want to try this out. And so what I want to do first is I'm going to click on dog breeds over here. Whoop. And look, this is a Power App that we'd expect to see, right? Look, we got a gallery over here on the left. Yeah, all of our different dog types. We got a new record button. We can search, right? So what if we search for do, right? So Labrador, Golden Retriever, Labradoodle, Bernedoodle. So what fields is that searching? I don't know. Let's click on this and see. Searching, text input 1. It's using the breed name, the country of origin, and the description. So I am guessing that in somewhere in the description is the word do for Golden Retriever. So that's why it's showing up. You can always edit this. We're not going to worry about that right now, but you can make your normal things, right? Because this is just a normal Power App. So I can edit it any way I know how. All right, go over here and change the look. Go change the feel. You got all kinds of those controls. Anyway, back to looking at it. So like if we were to click over here on Bernedoodle, right? If we click there, we could say edit, and maybe we want to go down here and change the dog name. His name is not Cooper. His name is Buddy, right? We know that. And he was not $250. Whew, I wish he was. So we'll click on that and bingo, bango, we've updated this, right? It's just a normal Power App. We're done, right? If this was all you needed the app to do and it's up and running, you could hit play and publish. Or not play, just hit publish. You could also, though, if you're thinking, whoa, Shane, I need more columns. I wanted an image column, but that wasn't one of the suggested types over there. No big deal, right? Over here, you could just say edit your data, click on the plus like you always have, hit the data type, file, image, right? Dog photo. We'll make it a primary image and we'll say save. We'll close this out. And now we can just go back over here, right? And what I'm really trying to stress upon you here is that this is just a normal Power App. So, now we just say edit fields and I would go over here, say add a field. And so somewhere in here is dog photo, right? This is the same stuff you would do in your Power Apps today. Maybe we're going to change it to 3 columns while we're here. All right, we'll close all that. Boom. And then now I would put it in edit mode. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. And so now that it's in edit mode, I could rearrange these. Maybe I don't want this price base. It probably shouldn't have been there. And then maybe we want to make dog photo a little bit bigger. And then we'll just hit play, add a picture, Buddy's sitting. There you go. And then we'll say boom. And it's in the app, right? Like It's just normal Power Apps. And I wanted to stress that with you guys. This is a normal Power App. You can customize it any way you want. It is a little different because it's automatically responsive. So that means if I use this on a mobile phone, it would shrink down to a mobile phone. They've done all the hard work to all the containers. That's why you see so much stuff over here, but it's just a Power App at the end of the day. So now if we want to go back over here to the home, let's check out the other Copilot. So here you can see it says, welcome Shane, ask a question about the data. And so if we hit the play, and you can see, once again, to help you get unstuck, it's going to go ahead and make suggestions. I didn't do that. They just showed up. So what is the average lifespan of the dogs in this table? I don't know. Click on that. It's going to go, so it's adding up all the columns, doing an average, and it came up with 13. And I can continue to ask it questions, right? What is the heaviest dog? Think about that. What is the heaviest dog? The heaviest dog on this table is German Shepherd, weighing 75 pounds. If you go back over here and we get rid of our filter, if we were to go and look through all of these, right, we would find that the weight is 75 pounds for the German Shepherd, and he is the heaviest one that they put in our sample data. But the magic to me there, right, like I didn't say what dog has the greatest value for weight. It jumped from what is the heaviest dog. It understood I meant weight, and it figured it out. I think that is really interesting, right? What are all of the white breeds? What happens? Oh, so it didn't understand breeds. So let's try this again. What are all of the white dogs? There you go. So German Shepherd, Labrador Retriever, and Maltipoo. I've never seen, I guess I have seen whites of all this. Never mind. But so, right, this is where my sample data, I probably should have told it to go get the normal color for them. But you get the idea. I'm asking it intuitive questions. Now, notice here it messed this one up, right? And it was because I used breeds and it didn't connect the dots between the two. That's okay. One of the things to remember is that when we talk about using this AI feature, this is not, traditional AI where it's kind of like fill in the blank, guessy things. Like it's true AI. It is analyzing the data text, it's figuring out, it is sculpting, and is coming up with an answer on its own in real time. The reason I say that is because sometimes you're going to see inconsistencies, right? Like I might try this demo again tomorrow and type in what are all the white breeds, and it might figure that out because it's, having a better day. And it's like, oh, dog types, dog breeds are the same thing. Because it's calculating and thinking on its own every time, you're going to see different answers. That's an interesting thing about, the whole AI model is that, it's not canned responses. We'll just fill in these metadata fields. It's thinking. So keep that in mind, right? It's going to continue to get better over time. Like when I did an interview with Clay, he's like, hey, our hope is that on day 1 to day 10, your day 10 experience is better. And then your day 10 to day 30 experience, right? Your day 30 experience is better because it's always learning, always growing, always morphing. So it should get better as you go over time. So hopefully, like I said, next time I do this demo, hopefully it figures out all the breeds, but if not, no big deal. Also remember, like if at any point in this conversation, you want to reset it, up here, kind of hidden is the little reset thing that would set you back. And then, we can just take and go this and say, I don't know, what does that even mean? And so look, what is the correlate? So it auto-suggested a question that it couldn't figure out the answer to. Not ideal. It's still learning. It's okay. We could probably figure out a way to do it. But honestly, like there's probably not because all the dog names are unique. So I don't know. It's probably a silly thing for it to come up with, but try it out. Also keep in mind with this thing, right? So this is called Copilot over here. And so if you look, it just has an items property. Items property is dog breeds, right? So you can point it at other tables and get the same type of experience. So you want to kind of see what that looks like? I figured you did. So if we go over here and we say, hey, I want to add data, we're going to search, add data. We're going to search for FAQ. So what I did yesterday was I made a Dataverse table. I guess we can just look at the table, right? So just say edit the data. And so what I did is I used ChatGPT because I'm a nerd and said, hey, make me up 10 FAQ questions and sample out answers for a small manufacturing company. So it made these up and I just copied and pasted them into Dataverse, right? So this is what I did yesterday with my time. Timeout. So after explaining to you guys what I did yesterday, it worked. You're going to see I'm going to use that data in the demo. I said, wait a minute, I bet Copilot could have done this for me even easier. So this afternoon while I was editing, I just jumped over here and I went into Copilot and said, make me an app for tracking FAQ questions and answers for a small manufacturing company. Please have 10 sample questions with believable answers. Boom. So once again, I was trying too hard. Using ChatGPT, I thought I was cheating. The ultimate cheat code was Copilot. Just a reminder, when you're building those business apps, have it add the sample data that makes the most sense for your business scenario, which will make it easier for you to build, design, and work on the app. All right, back to the real video. So there they are. So then what I could do is if I come over here to this thing, all I have to do is change this from dogs to FAQs. And so by changing it, it is going to analyze that data, and then it's going to be able to answer questions about it, right? So if we hit play, now the suggested questions, right, it hasn't caught up yet. It hasn't figured out. Let's see if we can leave and come back if it'll figure that out. All right, so let's ask it a question, right? Like, let's just go, what industries do we make products for? We press enter, and then you can see our manufacturing business specializes in producing custom plastic parts for a variety of industries such as automotive and medical. That's a question it figured out from our data. And, I'll be honest, like I'm not going to try and do it now, but when I was doing my practice run with this the other day, what I was doing, like as I started trying to ask like complex questions that would require multiple FAQs, right? Like that one comes out of one FAQ, so it's not as impressive, but it was able to merge the context of two different FAQs to give me a singular response that felt natural. And I think that's, if you've been using ChatGPT, you're probably used to the idea, or Bing chat, it doesn't matter, but they've gotten really good at parsing a bunch of different texts and then summarizing and making an answer. So that's the same engine under the hood, so to speak. So the fact that it can do that is no big deal. We can clear it out. And then once again, if you just don't know what to ask about it, like, how do you ensure the quality for your products? I don't know, click on it. And so there you go. It is actually, there's one of the ones where it's combining two different FAQ questions for me. Boom, I've got this. The other thing to remember is that this is just a Power App, right? We built it with the Copilot for Makers. We built it, but it's a Power App. So if I wanted to customize this and build additional functionality, it's all here. There's nothing unique about this thing. I mean, it's unique that it's awesome, but there's no magical black box here. All the pieces, all the controls are here just like you would expect. And I think that's really important to work on. So much so I'm going to show you an app yesterday that I was messing around with. So if we go here to dog types, so I took my practice run. And so over here, I went in, I added the photo, and then I went in and customized the gallery to make it, support all the different ones, right? So we could get a little bit better look over here. And, I just used my normal Power App skills to do this. Not something I'm going to walk you through because it's all responsive. I did have to kind of fiddle a little bit with the size. I didn't go test it to make sure it still worked on mobile, but all of my Power App skills still 100% applicable. And that's the reminder, right? Like this Copilot is not replacing you, right? The Copilot does not take away the pilot, right? We're the pilot. Remember, I need to put the cheesy sunglasses back on? No? Okay. But this tool is here to augment, right? So if you're a brand new maker, it's opening up doors that you didn't even know existed. Awesome. But if you're a seasoned vet, right? I've been doing this for, 5,000, 6,000 years. It feels like forever. Like, this is not here to step on my toes, but it's here to help me. The fact that I could just use some natural language and it could spit me in a table with all the structure I needed. It could make those suggestions and it could put valid sample data in there, right? Those are things that, yes, I could have done on my own without its help, but it did it in seconds instead of me spending my whole morning doing all of that work. That's the sell here, right? Is that this thing is to make me better. It's trying to help me be that, quote, 10x developer. It's making me bigger, faster, stronger at Power Apps. Also, if you're one of those people that, you work in a silo, you work by yourself, right? Now you've got a friend that can help you, right? Between this helping you on the interface, using a tool like ChatGPT or the Bing chat, if you're in that preview, going out there and asking it questions. Hey, can you help me document my code? Can you explain to me what this formula does? Can you make a suggestion on what my app should look like, right? Those tools are there. They're making you better at Power Apps today. Hopefully you've enjoyed all of this walkthrough of these fun things. Just keep in mind, right, that if you want to hear an interview that I did with Clay Wessner, Clay is the product manager for all this fun stuff. The link is up there somewhere, so you can jump over to that video. Or if you've got ideas for more content around this stuff that you want to see because I got the toy, I get to play with it, let me know, put them down in the comments below, and we'll see what we can do. And with that, I'm going to say thanks and have a great day.